Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Prenton Preview.
On this side, McCallum! Yeah! 1-0 to Tranmere! Oh my word, Barlow! They've got a ball! Colin Jennings, James Norwood has scored it! Reese with the cross, the header, it's in! It's Colin Jennings!
Coming up on today's show, we go behind the scenes from Tuesday night's game against Leeds. We get the opposition view. Peter Clark answers some questions about his teammates. And finally, we get some pre-match thoughts ahead of the Saturday's game against Salford. On Tuesday night, we had our first Papa John's Cup Trophy game. Let's go behind the scenes to Tuesday and see how we got on. Next up we have the opposition view from the Peninsula Stadium to see how they think they'll get on here on Saturday.
Right, on this week's opposition preview, we're joined by Dave. Now, Dave's here because he's a Salford fan who are, of course, our opponents at the weekend. So welcome, Dave. Thanks very much for joining me.
No problem at all.
Now, before we get into this weekend's game, we'll take a step back a few years now. Salford are entering their third year in the Football League after quite a well-documented rise to the top. So how are you enjoying life in the EFL so far?
Well, we're very pleased to be here, but we're not enjoying it at all. We're underperforming.
Why is that? In what sense?
Well, we're so used to going through the divisions and coming out on top, and it's not really happened. I mean, we've won the EFL trophy, Papa John's trophy, which was big for us. But just when you think we're going to kick on, because you've got to realise that we are favourites by the bookies every season, without fail. So that gives us a false sense of, oh, we're going to do it this season. But now reality kicks in and it's a struggle. Nobody's going to give us anything. Nobody gives us anything. So, it's got to be earned.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose if you've risen through the divisions and you get used to a promotion, then that begins to, that's the expectation then. The start of every season is to get promoted. Is it fair to say you started this season with that same expectation?
Yes. But I think last season was a reality check certainly for the owners. They thought that by changing managers, by magic, you can, get the right formula and buy your way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems there is some reality from the owners that it doesn't actually work that way very often. And you've got to get the right combination. And we are number one target in this division. Everybody wants to beat us. It's always been the way. That's what we've got used to. But it's very difficult for the players and the manager to deal with that week in, week out, expecting to win every game. It's impossible.
So you've got that expectation to win every game. And so far, you're 14th in the league this season on 8 points, level with us. So how would you review your season so far?
Well, we're hard to beat. The games we've lost have been by the odd goal. But we've just not clicked at all. The players put in effort. But I think the manager is struggling with formations and who to play where. We've all been affected by COVID, international call-ups and what have you. But we've lost all 4 away games. So, that's got to change sometime.
Yeah, I think we're in a similar position to you in many ways, that we're looking to go up this season, one of the favourites, but we're not quite meeting those expectations so far, particularly struggling to score goals, doing well at keeping them out, but just struggling to put the ball in the net at the moment. So what kind of style of football can we expect to see this Saturday from Salford?
Well, we'll be secure at the back. The ball will be in midfield quite a lot, often. The ball will be passed side to side, back to... Our strikers couldn't hit a barn door. I mean, really. So I can see a nil draw again.
So,
but the teams are well matched, so who knows?
Yeah, well, you mentioned there about you being the bookies' favourites, and do you think there's a particular reason why you're the bookies' favourites each year?
Well, I mean, people who put money on betting shops just see a name and think, "Oh, Salford City, yeah, they've got loads of money, momentum, blah 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 blah," and it means nothing really. It means absolutely. I mean, look at Bristol Rovers. They were second favourites.
Yeah.
Look at Harrogate, and any team could do it in this division. Morecambe proved it last season. To your cost. You can't underrate anybody, and if you don't turn up, you'll get turned over. And it's fine margins in this division, absolutely fine margins. I mean, we lost to Swindon at home by the 1 goal, and we've I think in every game we've more or less had more shots than the opponents. But it means nothing if you don't put it in the goal. It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think that's the exact same with our games this season. Is pretty much every game could have gone either way, and every game has. It's either been 0-0 or 1-0 to either team, and you couldn't really have argued with any of the results if it had been 1-0 to either team or a draw.
We smashed Newport 3-0. We should have had 6, and we thought, oh, this is it now. But then we're going to lose to Carlisle 2-1, and we haven't scored in the second half all season. What does that tell you? So and we've never in Football League won a game from being behind. So
Oh wow,
You know,
that is
there's
quite a
lot of
statistic then,
improvement to go.
actually.
It is. It's a killer statistic.
Yeah, because I think
So-
over the year I can think of many memories of us sort of scoring last minute winners and that sort of stuff, which is often where we've come from behind against teams. But because the crowd sort of really rallies around the team the last half an hour, 20 minutes. So it's strange to hear you're the complete opposite to that then.
Well, we did score a last minute goal last weekend, so that'll lift. London finally scored. So we signed McElhenney, Oldham's top scorer. We signed Lund, Rochdale's top scorer. You think goals. The two best players so far this season have been the two low knees, Corrie and Darber at the back and Tyreek Wright on the wing. They both play, and play well. It should be a good game. So I think something's going to break at some stage for you and for us. But I wouldn't put any money on which way it'd go.
Yeah.
No idea.
I think when you've got good players in the team, then it is just a matter of them all clicking together. And you know that once they click, then hopefully the results should start coming then.
You'd think so, but we lost away at Crawley, our bogey team. We lost to Oldham, for God's sake, in the Papa John's Trophy. I mean, we had a team of kids out, to be fair, but
Yeah. So you just touched on it there, actually. Would you say there's any star players that we need to look out for this weekend?
Well, Henderson should be the star. I'll give you another good stat. 3 players have scored the most goals in the Football League in the last 10 years. Harry Kane, Jamie Vardy, and Ian Henderson. So that tells you a lot about his pedigree, but whether he's still got it is another matter.
Yeah.
We lost McElhenney last weekend with hamstring, so he probably won't be playing. So maybe he might be tempted to bring one of the kids in.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Kelly and Mai, or the guy they've signed from Manchester United on loan, Demani. So maybe they could do something. There's a bit of a mystery factor, but life's hard, isn't it? Life's hard when it's not working. When it's not working. It's great. It's great.
It's interesting you should mention McElhenney, because I know he was a name that was talked about a lot in League Two. A lot of different clubs appeared to be after him. So I think Tranmere fans were really not upset. They weren't upset, but they were a bit annoyed when they saw Conor McElhenney go to Salford, because we thought he's a player that we'd really like to see here. But it's interesting to hear that he won't be playing this weekend, because I think he'd be a major threat.
I don't know that for a fact, but he went off after 5 minutes. He looked like a hamstring.
Right.
So he might play. Our club are not very forthcoming on injuries. You don't get to know.
Keeping us guessing. That's why I imagine.
Oh, that's right. And I think this is going to be a transitional season for Salford, because we're going to a new stadium next season, all being well, and Moor Lane's got more and more difficult for the fans because of parking and COVID, and there's all sorts of things going on. So staying up wouldn't be the worst thing that ever happened. We have too much drama at Salford, far too much drama. We still have the TV cameras doing every game for the next Sky series. I mean, it is a circus at times, and it's not like any other football club. It really isn't. I mean, we get a lot of stick, but we live in a different world to most of the clubs, hand to mouth. We don't have that problem. The fans are spoilt by the owners. We get subsidised gate prices. We get subsidised away travel. It's a learning curve for everybody.
Yeah, I guess when you're under the spotlight so often, it can be hard. And in a sense, there, I think after the promotions, as you say, you need to be grateful for what you've got, perhaps, and that just staying up would be a good thing. And if you think back to where you were a few years ago, that where you are now is a big success.
Some fans pine for the non-league days, believe it or not. But here's another stat for you. We've finished in a higher position in every one of the last 7 seasons. Even last season when we underperformed. So if we finish higher than last season, we'll not be in the playoffs. And given what Bolton did last year, anything's possible. For you, for us, any team. If you get on a run, there's not a lot of quality in this division. There really isn't. Forest Green are very good, attacking wise, but they're beatable. I mean, Orient, solid. Harrogate, very good football team, but whether they can last the pace, there isn't the Bolton, side that it can be done. If you put a run together, you can do a Cambridge and do it without any great resources. But it's got to click, hasn't it? And every game is a battle.
So talking about the different teams there, have you had a look at the Tranmere team and any players that you might be fearful of?
I'm sorry, I don't know much about the Tranmere team. I'm sorry, I had a look last year, but I know the turnover of regards managers, and I haven't done my homework. Got to confess.
No, that's fair enough. I'm going to say we've not quite had anyone like the league up so far this season, but hopefully by the end of the year we might have a Nicky Maynard or Elliot Neville or Callum McManaman up there on the goal scoring charts.
I'd say you had a good result in the under-23s, didn't you? Against
yeah, we did. We beat Leeds. Leeds under 21s 4-1. It was only a young team they played, but still, scored 4 past them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for us, Tranmere are a big team. Although you've never beat us in 3 games, to be fair, but you are a big team. When we look at the likes of you, Bradford, Swindon. They're all big teams compared to us to some extent. But teams with pedigree. Been in a championship, and done it a lot. So, we've got a lot to learn from clubs like you, how you run your club, and the respect you've got over the years. And we've got to earn that. So we're still on the toddler step as regards the club. So, fortune and fame coming too soon is you've got to live with it as well. You've got to wear it. We get a lot of stick, but we can put with that. We have to solve for swagger. We don't have a problem with that. Because we've got to live with the Manchester teams. We're a small kid in a big playground. Bury, Bolton, Oldham, Rochdale. A bit like you in Merseyside to some extent, but worse.
Yeah, no, exactly.
To the side Everton, Liverpool. Who's your nearest club? Wigan. It's what I mean. You've got a little patch there, whereas we've got a little city which is largely Man United fans. Dare I say it? So we've if we don't have success, growing the crowds will be difficult.
I think
all hardcore. If we do have success, it won't be difficult because everybody wants a slice of it. But now we've stalled to some extent. The owners are going to have to work hard to get a crowd in.
That's something I often think is that if everyone who lived on the Wirral supported Tranmere, because we're the only Wirral's only professional club, then we'd fill Prenton Park each week. But unfortunately, we don't get too close to that. So is Prenton Park somewhere you're looking forward to visiting then?
I live in London, believe it or not.
Oh, wow, really?
I'm a fan in London, so I won't be making it at the weekend.
Right, fair enough.
I follow all the games, but I do it from an arm's length. My sister's house is on Moor Lane, more or less, believe it or not. That's my connection. Her husband was on the committee for many years. I can remember watching them on Parks pitches in the 60s, believe it or not, going back that far.
Yeah,
like a long time ago now when they were in the Manchester and Cheshire leagues. So it's a lot to get your head around being in the Football League. You sort of pinch yourself on occasions, thinking, playing at Derby, for God's sake, playing at Everton doesn't seem real, doesn't seem right somehow. But it's precious. It really is precious. And if we're in danger of going down at Christmas, the owners will throw money at it, guaranteed. They won't want to lose it because they know how difficult it is to get out of the National League. Look at Stockport, look at Wrexham. It's not easy.
Yeah, I think that's something we discovered after spending 3 years in the non-league. Yeah. We very much appreciated it when we got back into the Football League. Just having to not look at them Jacko balls and Jacko jackets on the coaches was good enough. And so finally, then. Last thing, how do you see this weekend's game panning out, and what's your score prediction?
I'd love to say an Amis win, and it's entirely possible, but I've got a feeling it's going to be a draw because both teams are desperate to get the season going. Anything could happen in this division, as you know. I saw you at Rochdale. You were unlucky to hit the post a couple of times. If we click and if these kids get their heads, we could do it. If Henderson decides to find out where the net is again, bless him, as he did last season, we should be doing better. But then again, so should you.
Yeah,
a draw wouldn't be a bad result on the road, quite honestly, the way we play it away from home. So I won't say settle for a draw, but it wouldn't be a bad result. But otherwise, you lose in touch with the ones in the top three. So good luck for the season anyway.
Yeah, well, I think a 0-0 or a tight 1-0 either way is probably sensible given how our seasons have gone so far now. Obviously, best of luck for this season, but apart from this weekend, of course, I'll be gunning for a Tranmere win. So thank you very much, Dave, for joining me.
Have we got you in the Papa John's as well?
Yes, we do actually. Yeah.
Oh, there we are then. So whatever way it goes this weekend, revenge is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll take the win in the league over the Papa John's, I think.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. I hear what you say. Enjoy the match.
I certainly would. Right. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Dave, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Our latest guest on the Rovers Ramble podcast was Peter Clark. Let's see how he got on answering some questions about his teammates.
We're just going to go through a few questions now on your teammates that we've previously asked Joe Murphy and Tom Davis. They've got you a few funny answers, so we'll see if yours match up to theirs, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll start off it. Who's the funniest, in your opinion, in the team?
Kieran, he always makes me laugh. Some of the things he comes out with, I don't think he always means to be a joker or make people laugh, but just some of the things he comes out with at various times, they can be quite sometimes inappropriate, but always amusing. So I have to go with Kieran.
That is the answer we've had off Tom and Joe so far. They've all given exactly the same answer. He's not that funny of a person. He's just really he doesn't mean to be, but he is.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, is there anyone who's the grumpiest or who loves a moan?
Has anyone said me yet?
To be fair, the answers we've had off Tom and Joe, they've sort of been, there isn't really anyone, it's more sort of on the pitch and barking out orders rather than moaning about silly things.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a real moaner who just moans for the sake of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if my name gets mentioned.
I don't think it has. I think Jay's was. I think Joe's Jay because he's sort of barking out orders as well, but he similar to you said, there isn't really anyone that loves him.
No, Jay, but he's wanting better from people. He's demanding off people. I'm sure my name will probably crop up, and hopefully it's only for those reasons. Certainly when we're playing, when we're training, I demand off lads, I demand off myself. Maybe at times it can be construed as moaning, but it's not. It's just to demand the best that each individual can give ultimately on a daily basis and when we're playing.
That's what Rob said to me before this. He said, because I'm only used to seeing you on the pitch. And he said, don't worry. He said, you may see him on the pitch and think he's a proper scary bloke. But off the pitch, he said he's lovely. He said, I'll have no problems.
Well, no, I try.
Next one. Is anyone always looking in the mirror?
One or two quite particular about their appearance. One or two of the young lads, the hair's always perfect. But again, I think Kieran quite likes his own reflection.
Well, Joe Murphy said it was something to do with his new hair, so he's always checking to see if it's working.
Yeah, it's that might be the reason why he seems to touch it a lot, but hey, there you go. Each their own.
The next one, most skillful at the club. Is there anyone sort of who won it through your legs in training kind of thing?
Mark Duffy, Cal McManaman, they've both got fantastic close control. The way they manipulate the ball, the way they move it, they're both skillful. So when I get near them, I try and run around with my legs closed if that's even possible.
I think the loudest cheers I ever hear in training is when the ball goes through someone's legs.
Yeah, it's I don't know why everyone seems to like a Megs, but it does. certainly if we've got a little circle going on or a bit of fun going on and anyone gets megged, it's always a little woo and a cheer and a bit of certainly makes the lads have a laugh and a giggle. So yeah, I can see that.
Who would you say is the toughest in the squad?
Um,
A lot of people have said you for this one, so
you're going to back yourself?
I have to back myself then, won't I? No, I think we've got some tough characters in the group. I would prefer to be a Tranmere player if things got a little bit ugly than opposing player against Tranmere. Should we put it that way? We've got a few boys that are quite tough. So yeah, no, like I said, I'd definitely rather be a Tranmere player if anything gets a little bit naughty.
Tom's words were, and it's one of my favourite quotes so far we've had on the podcast, is if it came down to a fight to finish top of the table, I think we'd win.
Brilliant. Yeah. If all else fails, that's what we'll go with.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
The next one is, who's the quickest?
Not me.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't think anyone said you, surprisingly.
If I get going downhill with the wind behind me, no one can live with me. But no, I always seem to run uphill against the wind. Who's the quickest?
This has been everyone said the same person for this so far.
Yeah, I think Josh Cogley.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's sharp, to say the least.
Yeah, even watching from the stands, you can see how quick he is. It's such good attributes. He can literally just knock it into a space. He doesn't have to worry about the step overs or anything like that. Just knock it into a space and run past them. Easy as that.
Yeah. No, he's quick. He's quick.
Next one is the slowest. And no one, I said you, to be fair.
That's good. I'm glad.
But in fairness, though, it was a bit of I think Joe had seen what Tom had said. So because Tom said Joe, so Joe said Tom, kind of thing. So.
You can start your own new chain here.
Yeah. You know what? When I've looked, I've not seen anyone that's got left for dead. So I don't know. I would surmise, though, it's probably one of the goalkeepers. Although Murph, when he comes off his line, Scott, when he comes off his line, they're quick. Ross, I can't vouch for, so I'll have to go with Ben Jones.
That's brutal.
Is that bullying?
Well, we'll have to wait till we get Ben on.
I know, yeah. He'll definitely come for me.
Next one is, who's the marathon runner who can run for days?
Josh Cogley.
Same again. A lot of people said that.
Yeah. He is the running man.
Joe described him as just like an all-round athlete. He's just built for running.
Yeah, he is. He is. Lucky sod.
You might not be able to answer this one that well. I'm not sure if you've been out on a night out with the lads or anything yet, but best and worst answer.
Liam Feeney can move.
Really?
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. Worst. There could be a few candidates for worst. There's a few who don't actually move. You stand there and like kind of nod their head. They look like they've got a twitch or something.
Which categories you come into? What's your go-to? You on the dance floor? You at the bar, or somewhere in between?
I'm probably somewhere in between. It depends what the music is. One or two real, oh yeah, I like this one, and off you go. But then others, I'm like, nah, not for me.
What get you up then? What gets you on the dance floor?
Again, it depends where I am.
How many pints you've had?
Yeah, there is that. So Robin S, show me love, gets me going. So no, there's a few who I think have got 2 left feet and they don't move away from a table or a bar. I think that's actually what's holding them up.
Sort of goes nicely into the next question. We've had the same answer for this as well every time. Who's the DJ at the club who put the music on? Who's in charge of
that? More often than not, it's Hodgie, strength and conditioning coach. He's got a really varied taste in music. At the same time, I've got to go with Murph. When he puts his tunes on, it's like I'm reliving my youth. It's like going back to yesteryear and the various bars and nightclubs that we frequented. So, I like Murph's music, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Joe said he does put it on now and again. He also said, going back to the last question, there's absolutely no hesitation. He is the best dancer at the club, apparently.
Hey, backing himself, there's no shame in that.
Yeah, confidence. Next one, who do you see as a future manager?
I think Murph knows his stuff. I know Jay's doing some coaching, so there's a couple there who could be possibilities, but you never know what comes to pass over the course of time. But as it stands at the minute, they would be the 2 that I'd say are most likely.
Now, I know people were probably saying this to you 10 years ago. So I'll say it again. You're probably coming towards the end of your career. So have you had any thoughts about what you're going to do next?
Yeah, obviously you have to at some stage turn your attention to that. So I've done some of my coaching qualifications over the course of the time, probably the last 10 years. I've done some co-commentary work, some punditry work, some stuff in the media. So those are things that certainly of interest to me. Can I say now definitively what I'm gonna do, what I want to do? No, probably not. So I think as and when the time comes, it'll be a case of seeing which suits me best and learning as you go along, I suppose.
And finally, this is probably my favourite question because people love answering it. Who's the worst dressed?
Some of the boys try really hard.
You succeed though.
Mate, I've got a hoodie on. I'm generally, because the weather's all right and the sun's still out, pair of shorts and a t-shirt, hoodie if it's a bit cool. There's a fair few who are of a similar way of thinking. Murph always has a go. Murph's always well rigged out.
Yeah, he sort of targeted the younger players. They love a bit of. He said there was one morning he thought Joe Maguire got changed in the dark, and there was a few lads with some horrible trackies on.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 with naughty trackies on, but yeah, Joe sometimes comes in and whether he's got dressed in the dark like Murph says, I'm not sure, but I can't disagree with it. So yeah, I think we're all looking for an improvement from Joe Maguire.
If you want to listen to that full podcast, it's out very soon for members only. So don't forget to join the channel. It's 99p and you get loads more exclusive content. And finally on today's show, let's get some pre-match thoughts from Mickey ahead of Saturday.
I don't think it's any secret that we keep on speaking about that we need to score more. Score more goals. Obviously, there's a process involved in that as well, and we have to get better at creating the chances. But we see that's the point that I want to make to people is that I understand that. I don't hide away from that. We're working hard at trying to get the right team shape and system in order to try and do that. We are, and we'll speak in facts now because I said I do understand that, we are a very new group. We are finding out about each other all the time. I think 18 players I think we recruited in the summer is a lot of players to hit the ground running with. But we're definitely moving in the right direction. I definitely know the type of football that I want to play. And we're still working with the players in order to how to keep to try and do that. Defensively, I think we're very solid. I think we're honest and fair with ourselves, as well as we say we need to do better going forward. We are very, very good defensively, very, very strong and very resolute, and all of the kind of qualities. But we want to get better, absolutely, with the creating and scoring of chances.
And what's it been like in training? Have you seen, positive signs of that as well?
Yeah, I see all the time. It's about finding the consistency of it. It's about finding the consistency of what we want to see all of the time. And that takes time. To get good at something, you have to do it a lot or do it more and keep doing it. And we are doing that all the time in training. What I do know is we are very capable of it. We have got the right players to do it. And it's just about putting on the necessary training sessions and then going and encouraging the boys to go and do it on a Saturday. But I have absolutely, and I mean that, no doubts at all that things will sort themselves out, because the signs are good, and we just need maybe a wee bit of that rubbery green at times in order to either get that first goal or not have the rubbery green against us sometimes, as I've seen with people getting penalties that weren't penalties and things like that. So that's just football, but we're very fair and very honest with the fans when we speak to them through mediums like speaking to yourself and you reporting on us. We say, yeah, we know we need to get better at the attacking side of our game and creating chances and scoring goals.
Unfortunately, that is all we've got time for on today's episode of the Prenton Preview. Our next show will be in a few weeks' time, just before we play Crawley Town, but there's going to be loads of other content going up on the YouTube channel, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching.
One this time. McCallum! Yeah! 1-0 to Tranmere! Oh my word, Barlow! They've got a ball!
Jennings, James Norwood has scored it! Reece with the cross, the header!